On today's Live Daily News, there's a change to those detours at College Hills in the Red Arroyo. The San Angelo Tamale Festival was a big hit over the weekend, and a showdown between Governor Abbott and Joe Biden that you won't want to miss. Plus, the sports guys talk all the NFL drama following the end of the regular season. All that plus more. I'm Yantis Green, and this is Live. But first, every weekday, thousands of people just like you tune into the Live Daily News show that is live streamed on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and SanAngeloLive.com. Businesses can connect with this large audience by placing a scripted ad at the beginning of each day's broadcast, just like the one you're watching right now. As with all advertising clients, we'll work with you on setting clear objectives and ways to deliver your message to meet them. Interested in advertising right here? Contact Joe Hyde at San Angelo Live by emailing joeh@sanangelolive.com or call us at 325-340-1238. Keep your dollars local with the biggest media platform in the Concho Valley. Now on to the news. If you are one of those College Hills commuters, then you better be prepared because those dreaded detours are coming back. According to the city of San Angelo, crews will once again have to close off College Hills near the Red Arroyo, which means detours at Millbrook Drive and Hemlock Drive. Then those will be returning this week. It is likely that the detours will begin this week and will last about a month. Along with that, Vista del Arroyo will also be closed between College Hills and Sul Ross for the next 10 days, so be prepared for that as well. This past weekend, San Angelo had its first annual Tamale Festival. About 1,200 people showed up to the event, which had a ton of things like apparel vendors, food and drink vendors, and even a San Angelo Spider-Man. During the event, they held two competitions. The first was a tamale eating contest. During that event, 7 people competed to find out who could eat a dozen tamales the fastest. The winner was Christian Govea Saturday, and after that came the tamale judging competition between the tamale vendors at the festival. The 7 celebrity judges that included our own Matt Trammell decided that the best tamale in town Saturday was from Hope and Manuel Homemade Tamales. Overall, the event was a success, and organizers Luis Ortega and Leo Puga said that this was a tradition that will likely continue. In other news, the Tom Green County Commissioners Court Tuesday will likely accept a grant that will double the size of the new public defender's office. After about a year of being open, the state has now pushed for the county to start taking over indigent cases in the Big Country, counties up there, as well as the Concho Valley. When the office was started in 2021, the state awarded Tom Green County a $2.2 million grant. It has not been announced, how much the new grant will be to expand. Be on the lookout for in the morning as we will be at the Commissioners Court meeting, and we will update this story once that matter is adjudicated, once it's handled by the court. For the border report today, we had a huge surprise. President Biden has officially visited the Texas border. The trip was short-lived, though, and he only visited the Democrat-run city of El Paso, which is miles away from the actual problems all along the border. At least, though, he can say he's been there, right? The trip included a short and unplanned meeting with Texas Governor Greg Abbott on the tarmac at the airport. Abbott wasn't invited to the event. During that short meeting, he gave Biden a letter saying that the administration was 2 years too late and $20 billion too short. Abbott went on Fox News after that visit and spoke on that conversation. Let's watch.
During this entire time, Joe Biden has not called me. He did not call me, nor his staff called and let us know either about his visit or to invite us until last night. We got a random email to one of my staff members asking if I would be there to meet him on the tarmac. And so they have failed to communicate. And listen, this visit is about 2 years too late and about $20 billion short of what needs to be done. All he's going to do down there is rearrange the chairs on the deck of the Titanic. He's not going to achieve any solutions that will make the border safer, more secure, and stop illegal immigration.
And finally, the weather for this week. Expect some of the hottest days in January that we've seen in recent years. Over the next 7 days, expect highs on average to be in the 70s, with the hottest day of the week coming Wednesday with a high of 81. Notable things in the weather this week will be that it'll be windy in the middle of the week and gust of 20 miles per hour, Wednesday and Thursday. Usually on live news, daily news, we have an interview section with a guest, but today we're going to switch things up. There's a lot of news coming out of the NFL today, so the Cover One crew is going to break all that down. With that, let's turn it over to Trammell, Bellini, and Chadwick for Cover One football.
So we were on vacation, family vacation, having a good time, and we get the call.
I mean, it was a river. It was a river in our house. That's the big thing, is we kept wondering, how bad is it?
It was devastating. I was like numb. It's like, how are we going to handle all this? What are we going to do?
And now we're here with the Cover One crew of Matt Trammell, James Bellini, and Ryan Chadwick. I'm going to go ahead and bring the guys in. Ryan, we'll start with you. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going, Matt?
And James?
Doing good. Feeling better than I did on Friday, so.
Yeah, if you saw Friday's Cover One Hoop show, James was a little bit out of it. You know, he was sick, but he still did the show and was hanging on there, so we got to love it. Then after the Cover One Hoop show, we've had a whole weekend to talk, to watch what everyone else was watching, and that was the NFL Week 18.
Yep.
Last week of the
18.
season. So a lot of stuff went down. We'll start with everyone's teams. And we'll go with everyone's favorite first, the Dallas Cowboys. So, James, what do you think about the Cowboys this weekend?
I think they got rocked when they went to the Commanders up there, who were playing a rookie, like a fourth-round rookie, Sam Howell. Who they liked. I saw a lot about him in with the preseason. How he looks pretty good in their training camp. We all heard about how good he was, but the Cowboys just went up there and laid an egg. You had a muffed punt. You had a bad snap on a punt. You
turn pick sixes.
An interception. Yep. So got to clean that stuff up because you're going to play Tom Brady next week in Tampa. So, Brady has 7-0. Brady's 7-0 against the Cowboys.
You were the only person of this crew whose team actually made it to the playoffs. We'll go to Chadwick now for your team, who was the Green Bay Packers. Packers looking rough. Did we see the last game of Aaron Rodgers last night?
I'm a sad Packers fan today. I will say this: Lions, good for you. They came in just playing, keep Packers out of the playoffs football, and y'all won. Congratulations. That was your Super Bowl. It's the closest you're ever going to get. So good job. Other than that, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to play next year. He's got 1 year left on his contract, and I just don't see his last throw in the NFL being chuck up a prayer pick.
It's got to be a Super Bowl, right?
There aren't many players who get the John Elway, man.
Yeah,
there aren't many players that can leave on the
Lewis.
John Elway. Yeah, the guys who go out on a Super Bowl win and
we
won and they ride off into the sunset.
This is the way I see it, though. The Packers had a roster this year that was full of rookies. You had to replace Devontae Adams. You brought back Randall Cobb, but that wasn't gonna replace that void that Devontae Adams left. And you had Christian Watson, who was their second-round draft pick, and Romeo Doubs, who was their fifth-round draft pick. They started the season out pretty rough. That's why you saw the Packers struggle and kind of fall to the bottom tier of the barrel there. But, past week 10 on, Christian Watson exploded. He had over 500 yards receiving on 30 catches. He had 9 touchdowns in the final, or 7 touchdowns in the final 6 or 7 games. And then Romeo Doubs and Jordan Love, when Jordan Love was in there, they have a special connection. So from my perspective, I think Aaron Rodgers is coming back to play 1 more year. But if he doesn't, it's, that's fine. It's just that time to give Jordan Love a chance.
Yep, they've moved on from quarterbacks in the past. Of course, Aaron Rodgers replaced Brett Favre, so who knows? Jordan Love could be the next one. I'll go with my team. The Houston Texans over the weekend, we had one job. That was to lose a football game. And what did we do? We went all the way to the very last quarter. We were up by a lot, let them come back, lost the lead. It was beautiful. And then last second, we score, go for the 2 points, win by 1 point, and lose the number 1 draft pick to the Chicago Bears. Man, guys, that's a tough one.
Yeah, and especially considering the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers division, I know they were happy about it, and the rest of us were mad about it. But it's hard to tell a team who's been working as hard as they've been working throughout the season to go out and lose. And like I know head coach of the Texans at the time,
Not anymore.
Not
anymore. We're
Lovie
racist.
Smith.
We fired him.
They told him to go win it. So I mean, great moral victory for the guys. But yeah, as at an organizational standpoint, y'all did lose the number 1 draft pick, so that's going to hurt a little bit.
You still got C.J. Stroud. You still got Bryce Young coming out. You got 2 good, decent quarterbacks at the college level. So
Hey, Max Dugan.
but
Yeah,
hey,
you never know. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff. We'll see what happens tonight. Maybe Stetson Bennett. I mean, there's tons of stuff.
I don't think you want Stetson Bennett overall top early.
Well,
You
not that
might-
early, but
you
I'm
might
saying
be
there's a
later
lot of
round
good
draft pick.
quarterbacks in this one. I think that's going to be pretty quarterback-heavy draft class, so I guess we'll see how it ends up turning out. Another interesting game was yesterday was the Arizona Cardinals. They lost, and they ended up getting rid of their head coach, Cliff Kingsbury, who's a Texas Tech guy. Guys, what are we thinking about that? Who are we thinking about who's going to replace him, or what are we thinking? Where's Cliff going to go after this?
Well, first off, I just want to say, as a Texas Tech alum, he was the coach when I was in college. Like nothing but respect for the man. Like he's done a lot for the Texas Tech program. He played great at quarterback under the late great Mike Leach, and then he was Texas Tech's quarterback for 7 years. When he got the opportunity in Arizona, I kind of saw how it was going to go and like start off strong, fall off at the end. That's kind of what happened. So it's unfortunate that Cliff got fired this year just because of all the injuries at all the positions that like the skill positions towards the end of the year that the Cardinals had. But I personally think that Cliff is going to go back to college football after this, but we'll have to see.
What do you think, James?
I don't know. You lost your starting quarterback, and you lost Colt McCoy was the backup, right? So you lost him, and you had your third stringer out there. You fired a couple position coaches throughout the year. You didn't have your number 1 receiver for 6 games. I can't really say much better. They didn't give Steve Wilkes really a chance before. They gave him 1 season. They gave Cliff 4. But yeah, I think he goes back to college. I don't know. He probably won't get maybe many. There are a lot of other coaches who have been kind of on the cusp of being head coaches in the past who might get those opportunities this year. So.
This is what some of the landing spots that this I'm not gonna say which side, but this side's reporting. They got him landing as the in the NFL as the head coach for the Houston Texans, the offensive coordinator for the Patriots, taking over for Mike Patricia there. On the Rams coaching staff with, of course, Sean McVay, so they would be doing some crazy stuff over there. The Alabama offense coordinator, because they lost a couple games, so Bill O'Brien's really on the hot seat for that one. And then really no other programs are really standing out at this time for him. Out of that list, what do you think, Chadwick? Do you think any of those are possible?
I think if the Alabama job opened up, that's where he should go. I think that the SEC could do a little bit. Do with a little bit more of the spread. That'd kind of be cool to see a traditional ground game powerhouse turn into a spread option or a spread to an RPO team.
Well, they're going to have to kind of mix it up a little bit. I mean, we saw Tennessee this year and how well that worked out, and they almost won the SEC. So that may be the way that the trend is going in the SEC. I don't know.
These teams that tend to inject some youth on their coaching staffs, like
Yeah.
the Rams went out and got McVay, and they looked pretty good that the first few years they had him, and the
They won a Super Bowl last year.
I mean, yeah, the Dolphins went out and got Mike McDaniel.
Mike
They're
McDaniel,
in. So these teams that tend to get these young guys, maybe they bring something new that these older coaches didn't see before. So
Yeah,
maybe
you never
that's,
know. And of course, Lincoln Riley's out there. What if we just saw just a tag team of them? What if they they just go both at USC? That would be some interesting football to watch. Other stuff that's been interesting. Speaking of Sean McVay, I've been seeing stuff that we may be seeing the last time Sean McVay's out there for the Rams, having some stuff going on. The rough season on top of he just got married, but his wife's from Ukraine, so they're having to deal with all the stuff. So there's a lot of off the field stuff at the same time. Do you see Sean McVay going anywhere? And if so, I mean, what would it be in another football team, or are we talking about him just going to the media?
I think it's going to be a situation kind of like Sean Payton and the Saints when he had to step away for a season. That one was kind of enforced by the league because of all the Bounty Gate stuff.
Yes, that's a Bounty League suspension.
Yeah, but like my point is Sean Payton stepped away from the Saints because of the suspension, but then he came right back a year later. Maybe McVay just needs the time to just hit the big reset button. Or you never know. Like you were talking about earlier in the office, Matt, maybe he just wants to become one of the commentators or be on the board like with Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah,
who
probably
knows?
on that Fox Super 7 or group or whatever. You know what I mean?
I mean, last year they went out and they got Odell Beckham. They had Von Miller. They had Bobby Wagner. Or they got Bobby
They
Wagner
don't have
this
any
year.
picks.
But that's the thing. They went out and they
Yeah.
signed all these guys and they
Yeah.
won the Super Bowl. And now contracts are going to be coming up. And you've got to think about, do I want to stay here through all this contract stuff? Do I want to stay here and watch my team just get picked
he gave
apart?
away all of their picks. I mean, he's
And he
the
won a
king
Super
of
Bowl.
trading away those picks, and that's how they that's
That
how
you
they
win a
won the
Super Bowl. I mean, and then you look at, would you rather have draft picks or would you rather have a Super Bowl win? And
I'd rather have one Super Bowl.
I'd
than
rather have
just
Super
me.
Bowl. Yeah, no, that's right.
All right, let's go ahead and let's get into some of these games that are going to be happening this week. Let's kind of go game by game. Let's pick and let's do some pick'ems, and we will see who we think is going to win. We will start with the one that everybody, of course, here in San Angelo will be watching, and that's going to be Tom Brady and the Bucs versus Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. I don't need a big explanation why, but Chadwick, just kind of give me your pick on that one.
I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys. They have a more complete roster this season. The Buccaneers can't run the ball. Their defense isn't as good as they were last year. And Tom Brady is, a timeless machine, so he's still going to do his thing. But if Dak Prescott shows up, then the Dallas Cowboys are going to win. That's my pick.
James?
I got to go Cowboys too, man. The only thing that scares me is that Cowboys defense, that secondary is real beat up. I think we got Trayvon Diggs and nobody else really. We're picking up guys off the street. We just signed Xavier Rhodes. We signed Trayvon Mullen a couple weeks ago. And if Deron Bland should be coming back. He has 5 picks. It's his rookie season. Leighton Vander Esch should be coming back. Jonathan Hankins should be coming back. Tyler Biadasz, the center, should be coming back. So hopefully we get these guys back, and I think you could see the Cowboys get past this first round.
See, for me, though, I'm thinking the other way. I think, the Bucs right now are hot. They got their way into the playoffs after, a terrible start to the season. And, they looked very bad for a long while. Offensive line got healthy, and now it's looking like things are changing. I'm going to ride on the other side of the board here, and I'm going to go with the Bucs in this one. But I'm going to say it's going to be a pretty close game. I think it's going to be probably around like 17-24, and I'm going to say Bucs win by a touchdown.
I think the Cowboys opened up at +3 on
Yeah.
the Bucs. I think that's what they opened it up.
I got the
Bucs
line
as.
right here. Oh, they don't have the lines in this. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next game. Staying in the division, though, New York Giants taking on the Minnesota Vikings. We'll start with James this time. What are we thinking of this one?
I'd like to see the Giants win this one, to be honest with you. I think Minnesota has been the best worst team this year. I think they have like a negative point differential this year, and I think the Giants are playing really good football under Brian DeBoer. So I'm gonna go Giants in this one.
See, I'm on the opposite end of that spectrum. Division opponent to the Packers. I know how good this Minnesota Vikings team is. I will say one of the only reasons they have that negative point differential is because they got their butts whooped on what was it, the week before Thanksgiving by the Cowboys 40-3, and then they got beat 41-17 by the Packers like 3 weeks later. So, but when this team is rocking and rolling, they're the best offense in the league. They have a top 3 receiver. They have a top 5 running back, and so they just got to play defense, and Kirk's got to show up.
Well, the Vikings in this, I think, have a really good chance of winning it because when you talk about playoff football, the majority of the time it's going to be a one-score game. That's why when you look at these spreads, like we're talking about the Cowboys by 3.5, that kind of stuff, I guarantee you this one's going to be pretty close too. And the thing that the Vikings have shown all year is how well they are able to win those close ball games. They did it in that crazy game against the Bills. They've done it in the majority of their games have been by one score. So for that, I'll rock with the Vikings because, I mean, if you know how to win those games late, then you'll probably be able to get ahead in that one. Moving to the last game of the NFC, we're going to have a rookie quarterback taking on a team who we thought would be one of the worst in the league, and that's the Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers. Chadwick, we will bounce back to you first.
As good as Brock Purdy has been, like he is Mr. Relevant now. He was the last pick in the draft, so they used to give that guy the nickname Mr. Irrelevant. But he has completely erase that. He's 7-0 as a starter. He's top candidate for Rookie of the Year, but I think that's where the buck stops. The momentum is killed by Geno Smith and the Seahawks. The Seahawks match up well against the 49ers. They have all season, and I think the Seahawks are going to win this one.
Ooh, that's a hot take, right? That one's spicy. What about you, James?
As much as I like, what Brock Purdy has done in the NFL so far, Geno Smith I think he's the all-time, the single-season passing leader for the Seahawks, so he's had a really good season too. I think, I don't know, I'm going to go 49ers in this one, to be honest with you. I think with them, McCaffrey, you got, is Deebo Samuel playing, or is he beat up?
I think he should be back by then.
He should be back. Man, you've George Kittle too. You've just got a ton of, and that defense is stout. So
you going 49ers?
I'm going Niners, yeah.
I'm with you on that one. I'm going 49ers. Yeah, we saw that Brock Purdy, he is a rookie, but he's a pretty good rookie, and I don't think that's going to matter at the end of the day because of how well this system is. They traded for Christian McCaffrey. Since they traded for him, they haven't lost a game. They probably won't end up losing the game for the rest of the playoffs, or at least until the NFC Championship. So with that, I'm going to rock with the 49ers. Moving on to the other side of the bracket here, going to the AFC. We'll start with the big boys versus the small seed here on this one. We got the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins, two teams who are in the same division, so they know each other well. James, who are you picking?
I'm going Bills. Because first off, the Bills safety, DeMar Hamlin, everybody is thankful he's okay. He died on the field and they brought him back. So, and he was actually released from the hospital. I think they're going to be riding on that. They're going to be riding high. They're going to I think they're unstoppable at this point. Josh Allen is playing really good football. Stephon Diggs is playing good. Yeah, I'm going to go Bills in that one.
Chadwick?
I'm going to say congratulations to the Miami Dolphins for finally making it back to the playoffs, first year since 2016. But the Buffalo Bills are the second best team in the NFL this year, and the Buffalo Bills are going to win this game.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. The Buffalo Bills are that team this year where it's going to be hard to beat. Of course, Josh Allen is if you want to win playoff games, you need to have the person who touches the ball be the best person on the field. And for this game, it will be Josh Allen. He will be the best player on the field. And with him, he's got a whole roster full of people that can go to. I would say this, though, that Miami is a really good football team, and Tyreek Hill can do anything like we've seen at any moment. That thing can bust open. Of course, they got Waddle on the other side. So I think it's going to be really high scoring. I think this one's going to be one of the more fun games that we see. It's going to be a 1 o'clock game, so it's not going to have all the pressure of like the Sunday night, anything like that. So I think they're going to open this thing up. I think it's going to be a very high scoring game, but at the end, I think the Bills are probably going to win by about 10 points. So I'll rock with the Buffalo Bills on that one as well. Oh, that's the first time we've all three been on the same page here.
Yeah.
That's what I like to see. All right, moving on to the third seed here. We got the Cincinnati Bengals with Joe Burrow. We got Lamar Jackson with the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar's been out for a little bit, but is planning to be back. Chadwick, do you think that matters, and who should pick?
My pick's the Cincinnati Bengals. The Ravens aren't as good as the Bengals this year, and they've proved that twice already this year. Lamar Jackson has been out for a while, so if he comes back and he is the playmaker that he can be, I think it's going to be a lot closer. But I don't see that the Bengals losing this game.
James?
That's the same thing. I think the Bengals are a better team this year, so I'm going Bengals in that one.
I'll kind of mix it up here a little bit. I think Lamar Jackson is that different of a player where you can shut things down. We know that defense wins championships. Ravens defense is just as good as it's always been, and right now they're really kind of figuring everything out as the year ended. Yeah, they didn't win the AFC North, but it's okay because they're still in the playoffs and they're going to be playing the team who did win it, who's the Bengals, who let's be honest. There's some things that are going on there that could end up working against the Bengals, but we'll just have to wait and see. But for my pick, I'm going to go with the Ravens. And the last game we're going to be talking about is the AFC South winners. We saw them beat the Titans on Saturday night, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they'll take on the Los Angeles Chargers, who are a very scary football team. Chadwick, we'll go to you. What are we thinking?
I think that this is the most even matchup besides the Bengals and Ravens in the entire playoffs this year. I think even Vegas puts this odds at just a straight 50-50. Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars have improved tremendously over last season. They're only a 3-win team last year. They got all the way to 9 wins this year. So congrats to the Jaguars making it back to the playoffs. And on the other side of that, you got the Los Angeles Chargers with Justin Herbert. You got that really talented defense. Like you got Austin Eckler running the ball, and you got your talented wide receivers like Mike Williams on the outside. So the Chargers can be explosive at times, but they're also prone to the explosive play. So this one should be interesting, but I'm still going to go with the Chargers.
All right, going with the Chargers. What about you, James?
I'm gonna go Jags. I think Trevor Lawrence has been playing really well this season. I think they're gonna pull that one out.
I think so too. I'm with you on that. I like the Jags this year for this one. I know I'm an AFC South guy, and that division is terrible. Not the worst division in football, because I would say the NFC South's a little bit worse. But
it rotates around.
Yeah, you're right. But we saw what the Jaguars did to the Cowboys a couple weeks ago, and I think that's the kind of the game that we're going to be seeing.
Whoa!
And especially on Saturday night when they played the Titans, they were really good. James, what you got?
No, you're talking about the ball bounced off Noah Brown's hands to the defender who took it back for a pick.
Players make plays, James.
That's right.
I just said, we saw what they did. We saw what they did to the Cowboys. Okay, calm down. They're a good football team.
The Cowboys
calm down
also let the Jags crawl back 14 points down in the fourth quarter.
Kelvin Joseph let the Jags crawl back 14 points.
I would say this, actually. I would say Trevor Lawrence did that thing and brought his team back, and I think that's what we're going to see.
Now I'm
Best
upset.
quarterback wins. We're going to find out if that is
Justin Herbert's
Trevor
a good quarterback,
Lawrence
too.
or Justin Herbert. So I guess we're going to find out which long-haired quarterback is the real sunshine. What do y'all think?
I mean, I'm still going to go with Trevor Lawrence on that one. The locks are too beautiful.
Yep. All right, there's two more teams that we didn't talk about. They don't have games this week. We've got the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know if we really want to touch on them, but I do want to ask this question. Give me y'all's Super Bowl pick. Give me the game and who's the winner.
Game for me is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs versus... You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to say versus the Dallas Cowboys. I think this is the year that they get all the way to the Super Bowl and still lose.
Still lose. All right, so you're going to pick Kansas City. You got a score for that?
That would be high scoring, so I'm going to go 38-33 Kansas City Chiefs.
All right, 38-33 Kansas City Chiefs. James, can I get your Super Bowl prediction, the winner, and the score?
I'm going to go Bills and... I'm going to go Bills and Niners.
Oh, where's your homer pick?
My homer
We're doing
pick
a repeat Super Bowl?
I'll say what?
We're doing a repeat Super Bowl.
What?
That was last year.
Bills and...
Wasn't it?
No.
Rams?
Oh, you said Bills. I wrote Bengals. My bad.
No.
That's
like
how I was
Rams
confused.
and
My bad.
Bills. No. Bills.
Oh, that's how it should have been last year.
That's how
what
it should have
was.
been. Like,
Yeah.
no, I mean, my homer pick is obviously Cowboys by $1 million over anybody. But realistically, the Bills are playing really good football. And I'm going to go ahead and say the Niners. Niners are playing really good football, too. It'd be kind of neat to have a seventh-round rookie go in and start the Super Bowl. That'd be kind of neat.
Who's winning and what's the score?
I think the Bills would win that one. I'll go, 28-24 Bills in that one.
28-24 Bills. And for mine, I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I think we're going to see a Bengals-Eagles Super Bowl. I think it's going to be a very close game. I think it's going to be a weird game. I think the Eagles are going to win, and I think the score is only going to be 10-7. Low-scoring game, Bengals-Eagles. What do y'all think? Y'all like it?
No. That sounds like a horrible Super Bowl.
What was the Super Bowl? The Patriots and the
10-7.
Rams, where
Yeah,
it was
I know it, and that's what
just
I'm
a
feeling.
running. Like, let's just run the ball the whole time.
I'm an offensive guy, though, so the higher the score, I love those West Virginia Baylor games back in the day when it was 81-76. Those are my favorites.
Oh, what
well,
the
I mean,
Bills
I'm a
the Bills
Texas Tech
Chiefs
fan.
game
I
a
know
couple
what's up.
the Bills Chiefs game where it was in overtime and Josh Allen didn't get an opportunity to go out there and score that's
I don't even think we're going to see Kansas City versus Bills in this AFC Championship game. I mean, the Bengals, I'm thinking maybe Bengals-Bills.
No.
Yeah?
To me, I think Kansas City's still the best team in the NFL this year.
Oh, they are, but they're, excuse my language, they're candy ass a little bit. So I'm kind of out on
I
it.
guess we'll see.
you're gonna upset all those bandwagon fans in San Angelo, man.
Okay, calm down. I'm
They're
also
playing Ring Around the Rosies, Chadwick.
I'm also a bit of a Chiefs fan because I'm a Texas Tech homer as well, and Patrick Mahomes is a Red Raider, so I always got to root for him. So that was my homer pick.
All right, well, this is a little bit of NFL talk, guys. Any other last words that y'all want to say before we bounce?
Not for me. No, just congratulations to Mar Hamlin getting out of the hospital, man. That's last week he had an awful,
Hot take: they should play that Bengals-Bills game before the playoffs start. Am I right?
I mean, I thought that from the beginning. It's just like scheduling and all that.
In my opinion, they should have never stopped the play. But we'll not get into that.
Hey, it's bigger than football, Matt.
Is it though?
Man, when they stop an NFL game for an injury, that's a serious, serious deal. Because I have no doubt the NFL.
Why
sat
did they
there
stop
and
it
said,
for Tua?
I have no doubt the NFL said, "Oh, sure, 5 minutes." I don't know, but
Tua,
I'm sure the NFL was trying to get their money's worth out of it too. But
Yeah.
at that point, when you saw those players' faces and their reactions to what was happening out there, and you saw them walking away, and they were just shocked, and like there was no. It wasn't just he got the wind. I thought first he got the wind knocked out of him. That's what I thought. But then we all saw him fall, and
Oh yeah, no, I was watching it live when it happened, and when he got back up, he kind of grabbed his face mask for a second, and then went boneless and just fell backwards. I was like, uh-oh. So like I knew something was a little bit off from the beginning, and then they just kept cutting to commercials. So even as a fan, that was kind of surreal to watch, especially when you start seeing some of the player reactions. So like you literally saw one of their teammates die on the turf, and they had to be brought back. So like my hat's off to that medical staff and those doctors at the University Medical Center of Cincinnati. So
I will say this: tinfoil hat. Put your tinfoil hat on. If you believe in that the NFL is rigged and that is a little scripted, you watch certain ways season ends and stuff like that. This does kind of make a good way for a Super Bowl ending for Buffalo. Just saying. Put your tinfoil hats on. Smash Buffalo in that over. Don't go with me, who went with the Eagles. Go with James, who went with the Bills, 28-24 to win the Super Bowl. All right, guys. This has been the NFL coverage that we're going to do for Cover 1. We're going to do this maybe occasionally just as this season kind of winds down. We did it today because there's a lot of NFL news, and to check it out, go to SanAngeloLive.com. This is Live Daily News. We're here every weekday at 4 o'clock. Make sure you tune in, and if you don't have the San Angelo Live app, make sure you go to the App Store and download San Angelo Live. For all of us here, I'm Matt Trammell.